I want to take a minute to shout out to some of our followers, those kiddos and adults that are following along with our lessons and sharing them with us on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram. I want to thank Olivia for tuning in and sharing her chicken drawings and her other creative projects. I want to shout out to Walton and Rivers for practicing their portrait drawing. I want to thank Brooklyn for making sketchbooks with her friends. I want to thank Anna Maria for getting her kids together to do our cartooning lesson. We appreciate you so much, and we look forward to you joining us one day at the studio, taking a class with us in person. Hello, everybody. Mrs. Grass here with your Daily Dose of Art. Thanks for tuning in today for Art Ventures at Home. On the docket for today's lesson is putting together a comic book. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to get one started. And then once you have those ideas flowing, you can make your own book. I have a special guest joining me today. I'm super excited about it. My guest is an expert on everything comic book. So let's get started. Here is what you're going to need for today's lesson. First, you're going to need something to draw on. You can use the sketchbook you created with us last week. You can grab a few sheets of paper. You can take out a sketchbook you may already have at home. You're going to want white so that you can design and color everything the way that you want. And you're going to need something to draw with. You should definitely start with a pencil and then collect some things that you're going to want to add color to your comic book with, like markers or crayons or colored pencils. I would even use watercolors if you'd want. You can do that after maybe you've outlined your drawing with something dark, like a dark colored pencil or a Sharpie marker. Once you have all those supplies ready to go, you can get started. All right, everybody, I'm here with my special guest. No, it's not the unstoppable Batman. It's Mr. Grass. Hey, how you doing today, Mr. Grass?
I'm doing good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here today to help us out with this lesson. Mr. Grass is an illustrator. He got his degree at School of Visual Arts in Manhattan, and he is an illustrator, so he loves to draw pictures of things that go with stories, and comic books are pretty much that. Yeah, I mean, a comic book should be able to tell you a story without any words. So he's here today to give us some tips and tricks about how to put one together. The first thing I think we're going to talk about is the famous, windows you usually see in a comic book.
Sure.
You brought a book with you today?
I did. This is one of my favorite books about learning how comic books are made. You might want to read it with a grown-up first, but this was assigned reading at the school I went to, so if you go to art school, you might get books like this. But it shows you all about time and space, and about sequential art, and about how we think about comics and what our mind does between the panels, and how we're completing pictures. It's one of my favorite resources. I read it all the time. You might want to check it out with an adult, but this is the authority on comic books.
Understanding Comics.
By Scott McCloud.
Scott McCloud. All right, so when I open up a comic book, I notice immediately that there's like little picture frames around each of the works of art. What's that for?
Well, they're called panels. So traditionally you have 9 panels. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Okay. So something like this.
For sure, something exactly like that. You may see a comic book that combines these two, or combines these two or all three together. But the traditional layout and the way you should get started is having them all broken up. And the space between these is what's called the gutter.
Okay. Is that where your mind sort of connects each picture?
Well, when you're looking at sequential art, which is just a fancy way of calling comic books, if you have someone who's taking their hat off, or like I did with that Batman head in the first panel, and then the second it's off, your brain has completed that picture in your head. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
Yeah, so what you're really doing is you're controlling time and space. You could stretch it out as long as you want, or you could condense the story.
Okay, so how do you want to put the panels on yours?
I think for this lesson, we should probably just have 3, 3, and 3.
Okay, so we're going to try to make 3 equal squares in each row.
Right.
3 rows.
Right.
Okay, so I'm using black Sharpie so that you guys can see from where you're at. But if I were you, I would start with a pencil just in case you decide you want to change anything within your story or in your design. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Is that good?
Can't get any better than that.
Okay. Nobody's perfect, right? We're going to try the best we can. And down here. 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
Okay.
Now we have 9 panels, the 9-panel grid.
And you're ready to tell a story here.
Now we can tell us any kind of story that we want.
And you have one you'd like to share with us first.
Yeah, I did. I had a little short story in my head.
All right, so let's take a closer look at that.
Sure. So I decided to do a story about making breakfast. And here's 2 examples of the same story, which I don't think really work very well. So I made one panel here of myself saying, so I ate breakfast. I made bacon, pancakes, juice, toast, and coffee. But I really wanted waffles. But I had no waffle iron. I have to buy one at the store. Anyway, it was good. Next time I'll just try plain yogurt. This is the same story, but in 2 panels. I'm hungry. That was tasty. What am I missing? The whole thing. In my brain, I saw myself eating all the food, and here it is, I'm done. There's really not much story here. The plot and the ending. I don't want to just tell everyone what happened. I want to show everybody what happened. Beginning, the middle, and the end. Because when I'm doing comic books, I'm in control of how long it goes. So what I want to do is start my story here and elaborate. Maybe here's me cooking. Maybe here's me cutting up the bacon. Maybe here's me starting coffee, pouring the juice, sitting down to eat, eating, finishing, and saying that was delicious. Or I could just cut to the chase and say, here's breakfast, I'm really starving. What should I eat? I don't know, I'm thinking about pancakes. Going on and on. You could break it up any way you want. But keep in mind, in between, in the gutter, is where your mind is going to put 2 and 2 together.
Okay, so you've got a story that you want to tell about eating breakfast.
Sure.
And you told it here, but this is a really boring panel. This is just a guy talking.
It's the whole story, but where's the pictures? What happened? How did I get that stuff?
Yeah, did the syrup get sticky on your fingers?
Yeah, who knows?
What did you eat? All right, and then here you gave us a little bit more, but there's a big chunk missing.
Because we're putting it together in the gutter.
Yeah.
It's not enough of the story. I have too much in my head. I need to space it out and kind of buff it out.
Okay, so you're going to show us this story, but you're going to use the 9-panel spread, the traditional 9-panel spread for a comic book.
We're going to break it down.
Okay, so where are you going to start?
The best place to start is at the beginning.
Okay.
So, it doesn't have to be about breakfast, but I'm going to draw a picture of myself. And I like to make myself a cartoon character.
Do you want me to go ahead and outline this as you move from panel to panel?
That'd be great.
So you like to make stories with yourself in it?
Well, it's always fun to draw myself, especially when he's a cartoon. I know myself best.
That's true. Yeah, think about what you're going to make your comic about. Like, are you can keep going and I'll chat. Are you going to make it about something you know very well about? Is it going to be about yourself or someone you've totally invented? Is it going to be about an animal? I know someone who's writing a comic right now about a stick figure. I'm going to have to show you that later, which is pretty cool. So think of a story first. Do you think, like, for a minute, you brainstorm about what the story's going to be about?
Well, this is just easy. It's about getting breakfast. But if you have a bigger story to tell, you might want to plot that down first and write down like a script or a storyline before you break it down into pages so you're not erasing over and over. Maybe write yourself a script if you want to get super serious.
Oh, okay. Yeah, writing a script is a good idea. Man, you look sad here. You're hungry?
Yeah, that's me going, I'm really hungry. What am I going to have?
Oh, you're standing in front of the
I'm standing in
refrigerator.
front of the fridge. And I'm like,
Thinking.
What do I got in here?
Okay.
So here's when you want to think. When you're making a comic book, you're like the director. You can control the camera and where it goes. So do I want to stay on my face the whole time? Do I want to zoom in on something that's really important? Maybe I'm surprised I finally see something in there that I want to eat.
A different view. Oh, you found something you like.
All right.
Oh my gosh, you're so excited.
Don't
Yeah,
forget.
you're really in control.
Yeah. I don't have to have it as a close-up of my face. I could have drawn a close-up of, the orange juice container because I'm super excited to see that orange juice.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now, in my head, I'm thinking, oh man, I'm really hungry. What's in the fridge? Oh, yeah, that's great. What's next? Do I draw that orange juice container? I think I might do that. But my mind is putting these two together. So should it be my hand reaching into grabbing something? Maybe I'll do that. I think I'll have my hand reaching into the fridge.
Okay. It's glowing. I like the glowing marks you put, like the exclamation marks and stuff. Like that's something that artists used a lot.
In some comics too, that I could have just closed up on my eyes.
Ah, yeah, just like your shocked look.
Yeah, I mean, you're in control.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, how when you're drawing a character, you can help illustrate how that character is feeling through how you draw their eyes. And sometimes in comic books, they just focus in right on the character's eyes because that can tell a lot about how someone's feeling. You could even, when you're done, you'll go back with color and these will pop even more.
Well, yeah, we're kind of doing it fast, but you're going to sketch it all out. And then the next step in a comic book is inking.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go over it with ink or a big Sharpie or a pen. I used, for a comic early today, I just used a ballpoint pen because I couldn't find anything. It looked great.
Okay.
And another thing we should talk about too, because we're talking about comic books, is sound effects.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Like the pop, the pow, the bam.
Bam,
boom,
biff, pow.
Zoom.
I mean, here's a little sketch of bacon sizzling in a pan. So I probably would want to write like sizzle, sizzle. Because, like I said before, we haven't even added any words yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have a really good idea of what's happening. And the sound effects only kind of help because when I look at the word sizzle in my head, I hear something cooking.
Okay.
Or if I hear slam, in my mind, I hear that noise.
hope I'm doing your drawings justice.
We're doing it fast. It's okay. When you do it at home, you're gonna take.
You should take your time.
You're gonna take your time.
Mm-hmm.
So now what? I'm cooking the bacon. What do you think we should be doing next?
Cooking the bacon, making your plate.
Making a plate.
This is also a good way to incorporate last week's lesson on cartooning with anthropomorphism. You could do a comic about an inanimate object that's come to life, like a donut or a coffee mug or a roll of toilet paper. And you can create a whole story for that character. It's a great place to make things that normally wouldn't happen in real life come to life. Oh, you're so hungry.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh no, his breakfast spoke to him. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Good morning. What?
Oh my gosh, so much more detailed than your original
Yeah, I changed
story.
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you see the difference between this and this?
Oh my gosh, there's a world of difference. Adding more details is going to make it so much more interesting.
I could take the same story and make it 2 pages if I really wanted.
Okay.
Because I could take this panel and stretch it out and have myself thinking over and over, or looking at all the shelves,
Okay.
taking out the orange juice and the eggs,
Okay.
turning the stove on, watching the bacon cook, setting up the table, getting ready to eat,
Yeah.
and then getting shocked, and then eating. I could pull it out multiple pages if I really want.
Yeah, or it could be a series of unfortunate, like mishaps with things that aren't alive being alive. Like
Sure.
he opens up the cabinet and the mug is alive, and
Yeah.
he opens up the refrigerator and something else is alive, and he finally gets through it, but at the end, his breakfast is still talking to him. So yeah, it could get pretty detailed.
Yeah, you can make it as detailed as you want. What I would avoid doing, putting everything in a word balloon.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
You want to be able to tell a story with pictures, not always words. They should be pictures supported by words,
Sequential art.
Yep. So why don't we add a little color to this and then show them what it looks like with some color?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. All right. This looks pretty cool. I love it. For a quick, fast idea. Yeah, I could see a whole book on this.
Making breakfast.
So I noticed that you did 2 different kinds of bubbles here for your character.
Yeah, so this one is just a regular dialogue bubble.
Okay.
And this is a thought balloon.
Okay, so if we draw a picture of the difference between those two things, one would be, okay, whereas, I've seen a thought bubble like this too before. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Sometimes some word balloons are also like,
Ooh. Why is that?
this could be like, a robot.
Oh, a robot. Oh, I see. Beep bop boop bop.
Yeah, you can get, it doesn't have to look like this.
Okay.
You know, if you want to even do, hey.
Yeah. And that reminds me of like the pop pow, like bam.
Yep.
They would do it that way
The
too.
sound effects, yep.
The sound effects.
If you have comics at home and you want to go through them as examples, that's a great idea too.
Yeah, that's a perfect idea, and I'm glad you brought that up because we've talked about that in the past, that having a reference or something to look at to inspire you is a good thing to have. So if you do own a comic book, if you have any at home, take it out and look through it a little before you make a plan for your own.
That's what I did as a kid. I just took ideas and thoughts that I saw in there that worked and applied it to the stuff I did.
Well, awesome. Thanks for being a guest today
Sure.
on Art Ventures at Home.
You're welcome.
I want to remind everybody that you can find us on social media, and that's where you can share the things you've created. So don't forget to share with us. On Facebook, it's Gallery North, and on Instagram, it's at Gallery North LI. You can also rewatch these videos on our website, which is gallerynorth.org, or you can see it on our YouTube channel, which is called Gallery North. And don't forget to share them with the people you know and love. Also, if you're on YouTube with us, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And if you're feeling so inclined, you can visit our website, gallerynorth.org, to make a donation, which helps provide these lessons for you guys all the time. So, until tomorrow for your daily dose of art, have a great afternoon. Bye.
Bye.